Alrighty, good afternoon. Time is 3:02. Today is Tuesday, May 13th, year 2014. Here is our top story coming out of Morelia, Michoacan. Mexican drug couple lavish gifts on hometown. That is our top story here today. Mexico City drug lord Salvador Latuta Gomez may be among the Mexico's most wanted men, but in his western mountain hometown, he is known for throwing parties, sending gifts, and handing out cash. Nobody knows exactly the last time the leader of the cult-like Knights Templar drug cartel visited Arteria, a small Michoacan state town where the teacher turned the couple once taught. But Gomez is now on the run as civilian militants allied with police hunt for him in cuevas and caves and forested hills of Michoacan's Tierra Caliente, known as Hot Land, trying to deal a heavy blow to the cartel. While Gomez is nurtured a Robin Hood image in his hometown, he has gained sour fear in other Michoacan residents who were forced to pay protection taxes or face the worst. Gomez's roots are deep in archaeological, meaning the town of 22,000 people located 2 hours from the Pacific coast up a winding road. His mother owns a ranch where roosters are bred for cockfights, an Oriental family Muslim, where his father is aborted, lies and primarily at the cemetery's entrance. An ex-wife lives in a pink house. Some say the 40-year-old kingpin last visited Arteria 5 years ago. Others saw him just last year. But even absent people knew he was behind parties on Mother's Day and other holidays. He decated meat at a taco stand. Miguel Angel, 21 years old, recalled that Gomez had planned to build a retirement home. People respect him. He never missed with the town. He helped people economically, and he will send gifts to children for Christmas, he said, on the run. Unlike other drug lords, the baseball cap wearing Gomez is a talk of publicly seeking character who gave a TV interview as recently as July, as he believed to have managed in rough mountain terrain. He can't survive up there. He knows people in the hills, said a police official who requested anonymity. A dozen sport utility vehicles packed with assault rifles, welding villages, and state police officers peeled out of a town on Sunday and headed to the hills. They refused to reveal the nature of their operation. Officials said under the top Knights Templar lieutenant in Arteria, a neighboring Tabasco, Hector Lopez and Adigade was arrested. Authorities have killed or captured 3 Knight Templars leaders this year, making Gomez the last top target of the cartel that once held sway in Michoacan. The gang came under pressure after farmers, fed up with the cartel's region of terror, formed vigilant militants in February 2013 and took control security of some 30 towns. The vigilantes were legalized and turned down a new Rutra police force Saturday, finally arrived in Arteria on April 22nd. But some town people are unhappy with the presence of the militant, accusing them of bringing into people's home and stealing. People think they're another criminal group and that there could be a clash with the Knights Templar. At any moment, said the owner of the hat store who refused to give his name, Family Ranch. This town is lined with shops, fruit stands, and low-rise homes and features a cockfight club. At its entrance, a traffic sign is poked with several busted bullet left holes and 2 shrines to Santa Muerte, the Senecan wheeling skeleton saint, worshipped by criminals near Arteria's welcome gate. The college where Gomez learned to become a teacher and primary school where he taught are still here. Gomez, who cartel smuggles crystal meth into the United States and explodes legally, extorting iron ore to the China and other 7 pot properties in Arteria, according to the prosecutors. The ranch owned by his mother Teresa is down a dirt road near the cemetery, but she left town to undergo a medical procedure, said Rosabella Barragan, the facility's caretaker. During a visit by the AFP reporters, a dozen milk cows gaze, more than 30 fighting roosters squawk from cages. The birds sell as much as 300 pesos, that's over $230. 3,000 pesos, that's ranging over $230. Cockfighting seems to be a family passion. 2 fighting roosters feature on the glass siding doors of the mausoleum where his father, uncles, and grandparents are entombed. While Barragan said Gomez, one of the 4 brothers, and his parents had kept their distance, she said, townspeople approached his mother to praise him. And I quote, people are pleased because he helps them, Barragan said, and they thank her for what her son does. Apparently, this guy, Salvador La Tunta Gomez in Arteria, Michoacan, was last seen on May 11th through May 2nd. Now, how is it that the authorities, he claims he's by the Santa Muerte, which we all know what it is actually. We're not for sure what type of baseball cap this man is wearing. I'm just for sure that this is a out of serious of issues to going on forward. And my guess is this is a top story that's going to be talked about here. But not only that, on top of that also, these are some serious situations involving the cartels. And we know for that fact that it's been known for a lot of years. And automatically, what are people going to do about this? That's my point of view. We're not so sure what really intends to happen here and how we're going to figure out the rest. Okay, so here we go with our next top story here. Now this has to do with sports actually, and automatically, we got some issues going on here now. This is a different story now, talking about here. So let's go ahead and talk about this one right here where it says Panthers. And so we got an issue coming out of Carolina. We'll talk about this here real quick here in just a moment. We're not so sure what really happened. This was posted early today, which means 3:09 Central Time, which means 4:09. Okay, so here we go. Charlotte, North Carolina. Carolina Panthers Pro Bowl defensive end Greg Hardy has been charged in an incident of alleged domestic violence involving his girlfriend. WSOEC TV in Charlotte first was told of the arrest by the Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department. We are very disappointed to learn of the allegations involving Greg and are concerned for all parties. As we continue to investigate, the Panthers said in a statement, Hardy will spend Tuesday night in jail and appear in front of a judge at 8 o'clock Central, which means he'll appear at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on Wednesday. Court officials told ESPN.com. According to the police report, at 4:18 a.m. on Tuesday, officers responded to a domestic violence assault call for service at a 100 block of North Tyrant Street. Upon arrival, they spoke to the woman who told them she had been physically assaulted and threatened by Hardy. She also said she and Hardy had been in a relationship since September 2013. Hardy, who goes by alter persona the Carlin, led the Panthers in sacks this past season with 1.5 with 15. He was given a franchise tag during the offseason, gathering $3.1 million in 2014. Carolina general manager Dave Gettleman said reportedly he hopes to sign the 2010 sixth-round pick for a long-term contract. So now the NFL players today, folks, they cannot seem to stay out of trouble. So I'm kind of wondering, Greg Hardy did not know what he was doing. He had 15 sacks, and now he's won $3.1 million in cash this year for a contract. So my question to be here today, what are they planning to do with this kid, obviously? I mean, I just don't get it. How is an NFL player going to continue to put his hands on a female, especially his girlfriend? We're not for sure was the age of the girlfriend. We'll keep it there with this story, so forth and so on later on. Maybe sometime tomorrow we'll continue talking about this story here on YouTube.com. But to me, at some point right now, it seems kind of weird though, because the NFL players just cannot stay in state of trouble. We're not even close to the NFL season yet. We're not too far away to start about it. And the question is, what is the commissioner Roger Goodell going to do here? Is the NFL league going to step in here and say, okay, we're going to have to suspend Greg Hardy immediately from training camp and from the entire NFL regular season? That means that the Panthers don't get this issue solved by sometime tomorrow, Wednesday, then we got a problem here. We got a serious problem here with this issue, this story, because with this investigation, so that means Greg Hardy cannot stay out of trouble. Is it obvious, or is it just me here, folks? I'm really not so sure what's going to happen on this young man here. But like I said, I very much don't want to figure out what's really going on with these guys. To me, to tell you the truth here, folks, this is not the type of situation you want to get into here right now eventually. This is not the time. So let's see here. So Clarinet to me has been at this point, you know, I just don't get it. What's going to happen now with these guys? I'm not so sure, because what tells everyone else is these are issues, folks. These are issues that very much just tell you and tell everyone else this is not going good right now. This is going, as we say, it's pretty much going awful right now, really, and it truly is. Okay. So 10 hours 3:15. We'll take a quick break. You're coming next. Your top of the 3 o'clock hour. We will continue talking about Donald Sterling. What is going to happen with Donald Sterling, and what are the plans to solve these issues from now on from Donald Sterling? Is Donald Sterling going to continue making jokes about people here? I'm not so sure what's really going to happen here, folks. Because to me, right now, this is not the right time or the right place for him to continue talking about this. And as we're going to take a break here, and when we continue, we're talking about Donald Sterling. What's really going to happen with Donald Sterling at some point? I mean, I can't seem to get it right now at the moment, really. Because this is a different story for me and a whole bunch of other people more who clearly, you know, they understand what it's like to be talking about these guys. And really, you can't get no more than that, really. So, obviously, we're figuring out. We come back next year live on YouTube.com. We're back next.
Let me see, how do I put this? You've been a bad girl.
Mistress Men. Things that you've been a bad boy.
No, I haven't.
Mistress Men wants to punish you. Did you give it a rest?
Look, even though your time slot is on the later side, your show is very...
Good.
But we don't want the kids to see you or your show, so we're going to block you. Got that, Mistress Mandy?
Good. Lovely.
Listen, you've been a bad girl.
Mistress Mandy thinks that you've been a bad boy.
No, I haven't.
Mistress Mandy wants to punish you. Did you give it a rest?
Look, even though your time slot is on the later side, your show is very...
Good.
But we don't want the kids to see you or your show, so we're going to block you. Got that, Mistress Mandy?
Lovely.
When friends don't stop friends from drinking and driving. Friends die from drinking and driving. Friends die from drinking and driving can kill a friendship. Yeah, pretty cool. Hey, you want to slow down there? Really? Oh, okay. What do you do? Shoot a viral video. Let's see. Hey, this is the last 5 minutes on Earth. I'll set the bomb, say something bomb. How about, goodbye, Mom, sorry. Yeah, pretty cool. Hey, you want to slow down there? Really? Oh, okay. What do you do? Shoot a viral video. Let's see. Hey, this is the last 5 minutes on Earth. I'll set the bomb, say something to Mom. How about, goodbye, Mom, sorry.
There's one on the couch. There's a monster on my bed. Keep innocent things from triggering an asthma attack. Please let the monsters go away. Learn how to stop new asthma attacks at noattacks.org. My new mom and I have a lot in common. The great outside. We both love the outdoors. So shiny. That's not a flower. We both love geology. Oh, look. An igneous one. That's not a rock. And she knows a lot about wildlife. A labradoodle. That's not a dog. Hanging out has been kind of fun.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
My new mom and I have a lot in common. The great outside. We both love the outdoors. So shiny. That's not a flower. We both love geology. Oh, look. An igneous one. That's not a rock. And she knows a lot about wildlife. A labradoodle. That's not a dog. Hanging out. kind of fun.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Oh boy.
My new mom and I have a lot in common. The great outside. We both love the outdoors. So shiny! That's not a flower. We both love geology. Oh, look! An igneous one. That's not a rock. And she knows a lot about wildlife. A labradoodle! That's not a dog. Hanging out has been kind of fun.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Alright, welcome back here live on YouTube.com. And let's get to this story once more time on the unfortunately, as we say, the Sterling family one more time. I know a lot of you are probably saying, why do I keep talking about Donald Sterling? Well, let's just say Donald Sterling cannot seem to learn his lesson at all here. Let's just say that right now. And obviously, this is going to be one tough cookie for both of these owners. Like I said, who doesn't seem to be careful at all, period. So now we're getting back on Magic Johnson here one more time again. Let's get him back to one more time again in Los Angeles, California. And I'm willing to say, guys, this is not sounding good. This is sounding, let's say, kind of bad, unfortunately. Because to me and the rest of the people, this is not the right thing to do. You know? I think when you talk about these guys, you're kind of wondering, what am I going to do with Donald Sterling? After that, we'll play one more time the video of what she said, basically. So here we go. One more time here today, Tuesday. Magic Johnson on Tuesday responded to Donald Sterling comments slamming the Hall of Famer, telling TMZ that the whole situation is sad and that the band, Los Angeles Clippers owner, is directing his anger at the wrong person. We got to pray for the man, Johnson said Tuesday. In an interview that aired Monday on CNN's Anderson Cooper 360, Sterling went from apologizing for his recent racist remarks to attacking Johnson and repeatedly bringing up the ex-NBA star's HIV status and calling him an unfit role model for children. He's got AIDS, Sterling said loudly at one point in the interview. And I quote, "It's very disturbing. I think when you come on, you should have your facts straight." Johnson told TMZ, "I don't have AIDS. I have HIV. I have been living with HIV for 22 years. And that's his opinion. If he thinks I'm not a role model, I know the things that I've done in urban America and for people." Johnson is scheduled to appear on Anderson Cooper's 360 tonight, Tuesday night, beginning at 8 o'clock. Johnson told TMZ he sent over 1,000 memoirs to the college through his Magic Johnson Foundation, has invested over $1 billion in urban America, and has put more than 50,000 memoirs into jobs. He said he's given inner city kids access to computers to do their homework via with 18 technology centers. His foundation is responsible for he is overseeing food and toy drives and job fairs. And I quote, "I'm proud of my work and I'm excited about what I do," he said. Sterling said in an interview with CNN that he has talked to Johnson twice since apologizing for his racist comments on the link audio recording that prompted outrage throughout the NBA and the nation, where they were released, leading to his lifetime ban and $2.5 million fine from the league. Johnson, however, said Sterling hasn't apologized to him for his comments. He also said Sterling wanted Johnson to appear with him in an interview with ABC's Barbara Walters, but Johnson refused. Donald Sterling reached out to me. I took the call, and I'm the one. When he wanted me to go on Barbara Walters with him and trying to save him from his reputation, I told him I will not go on the show with him. And I told him you should seek the advice of your attorney and try to make this thing go away. Johnson told TMZ.com whether that's making a deal with girlfriend B. Stavato or whatever the case may be. No. One, you got to apologize not only to me, but all memoirs out there because you haven't apologized yet. He said, oh, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that. Not once, even today, has he ever apologized to me or the other memories he offended. Stefano has posted a photo of herself and Johnson on her Instagram account. Sterling told her to remove the photo and the audio recording before he made his racist remarks. I don't know that young lady. I took a picture and all of a sudden I'm in the middle of this mess. Johnson told TMZ.com, but at the same time, I will not let you attack me without responding. And so that's what I have done in this situation. I responded, and I responded for myself. You don't want me to come to your games, and I won't come. And excuse me for this, my African American brothers and sisters. You don't want BLACKS to come, then I'm going to fight for those people. And again, I won't come. You don't want blacks to come, and I'm going to fight for those people. I'm a proud black man, and I'm one of the leaders in the black community. And then I take that role seriously. I don't have all ill feelings anymore to Donald. I think we should all try to get him some help. I think it's a shame. Johnson went on to say that Sterling is misdirecting his anger in the situation. Johnson also said he believes Sterling's strategy to attack him and trying to pit the African American and Jewish communities against each other, but it's not going to work. He should point that anger at the young lady that he's in love. And when that hit this out, I had nothing to do with this. You put me in it, Donald, by saying those terrible things about me. So now, this is an issue here today, my brothers and sisters, my African American brothers and sisters. Donald Sterling cannot stop babbling about the Hall of Famer. First of all, if you're listening to me, Donald Sterling, listen to me here, brother. You better stop blabbing your mouth about the Hall of Famer Magic Irvin Johnson. Magic Irvin Johnson has opened the kids with 18 technology computers to do homework, to do toy drives, and doing food drives. What else does he want from this man? Clearly, I don't know. But Johnson's appearing tonight on Edison Cooper 360. Make sure all of you folks watch it tonight, 8 o'clock tonight on CNN Network. To me, at this point, this is getting like a war against, like he wants the Jewish communities to go at each other's throats. Now, he said this past week that he his grandson got mad because the rest of the kids at his school, at his Catholic school, did not give him candy because of his grandfather, who's a racist. And they told him, we hate racists. So why are the kids being involved in this now, North Texas? I'm not so sure what's really going on here with this chapter, because I'm kind of confused here. Has Donald Sterling lost his mind? Seriously? Has he lost his mind? Talking about a Hall of Famer, a legend who used to play with the Los Angeles Lakers and retired back in what, 1992, and he's singing, "I don't want people who have AIDS." He's got AIDS, okay? What does that have to do with the story here, Sterling? Nothing. You're babbling about things that are really going to tick off Magic Irvin Johnson. I hate to say it, but I'm afraid the Magic Irvin Johnson here today, folks, he needs to take this man to court. Straight to court, fight for all what he's got, and take his team. Sell the franchise, Sterling. You ain't got no choice here, brother. You ain't got no choice but to sell your NBA franchise organization. If the new CEO says, "I'm giving it to Magic Irvin Johnson," so what? So be it. But he should not tell Magic Johnson that he does not want any African Americans coming to his games. They're not his games. Donald Sterling does not play for the NBA. He used to own the NBA team, but they're not his games. So, it's like I'm saying, if you see an African American athlete who's retired, let's say Mark Cuban invites him to come to the games of the Dallas Mavericks, Mark Cuban is not going to tell him, "I don't want you coming to my games because he's got AIDS." No, he's not going to say that. He's going to hold his words. But now Donald Sterling here today, folks, this is outrageous, really. What is this old man, 80-year-old man thinking here? I mean, really, what is she thinking? I have no idea. I have no idea what this man is thinking. Well, all I gotta say again, folks, this is getting chaotic. Starting to act like a little 3-year-old kid here, putting the Hall of Famer. It's like me mentioning, is Kevin Hart overrated over Mike Epps? No, both comedians are funny. I like the way they talk, but I'm not gonna pick on either one saying, "Oh, I think you're overrated." I'm not. I respect them. And I think the majority of you, the African American athletes out there, do you want this to stop? I want it to stop. Clearly, I do. Do I think this man needs to sell his NBA franchise team? Yes, he's got no choice. And if the NBA and the commissioner, Adam Silver, tell him, "You're going to sell us your organization," so be it. Leave that old 80-year-old man with nothing brokeless. How about that? And his wife, Shirley Sterling, she doesn't deserve any of this because, like I said yesterday, the NBA league does not want any of this last name Sterling taking over the organization. I'll tell you that right here today, Tuesday. Presented by Find Out More, Let's Save You Sports, Dick's Sporting Goods. Sporting Matter, donating funds to save teams. Go to dicksportinggoods.com. You know, this is a terrible one. I'll tell you that right now. This is very terrible. Now I'm going to play one more time here what the wife had to say live here on YouTube.com. Let's go ahead and play this. How about that? We're going to play here in just a moment.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know to update your coverage when adult children move home? Coverage identity. Covered by home insurance, even when they're not at home. The more you know, the better you plan for what's ahead. Talk to farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
Mrs. Sterling, you own 50% of the LA Clippers. The NBA may insist that your team be sold. What would you do then?
I'll fight. I'm a strong person. I'm strong in business. And I'll fight. I mean, I think it's rightfully my half.
Well, there are reports that the NBA wants to oust you completely as a team owner. You will fight that decision?
I will fight that decision. And, Barbara, to be honest with you, I'm wondering if a wife of one of the owners, and there's 30 owners, did something like that, said those racial slurs, would they oust the husband? Or would they leave the husband in?
Well, that's a question that's yet to be decided. But if we're talking about you, and the NBA wants to oust you, you will fight it.
Absolutely.
What does the team mean to you?
It means a lot. I've been with the team for 33 years, through the good times and the bad times. And it's my passion, and I love it, and it's my legacy to my family.
Do you support the NBA decision to ban your husband?
I can't comment on that. It was pretty bad what was said, and I guess that's their policy.
So,
and I was shocked by what he said, and I guess whatever their decision is, we have to live with it.
in recently released audio tapes, your husband said, "You can't force someone to sell property in America." So what do you think he will do if the NBA forces him to sell?
I don't know.
Well, some say that there's a possibility that he could legally transfer full ownership of the Clippers to you. Is that something you would encourage?
I would love to. Yes, I would love him to.
Sterling, Magic Johnson recently said the Clippers are not going to play for anybody named Sterling. So how would you persuade a player to continue to play on your team?
I don't believe that's the truth. I think they will play, and they're professional people. They love the team. They love to play. They love the coach. And they're under contract, so why would they want to leave? I mean, I never said anything. My husband is out.
You know, even the coach of your team has said that your staying with the Clippers could be what he calls a difficult situation. Are you doing more damage to the team staying on, having the Sterling name?
I've gone to the last 3 games since this happened. And the fans and the people there high-five me. And they say, "Go, girl." And we're so happy you're fighting for it. These are fans. These are sponsors. These are people who've known me for 33 years. They know that I am a good person. And I was sitting up in the box the other night. We want you to have the team. I mean, they're all in support of me, so I don't know how they can say that.
So even with the Sterling name, nobody is accusing you of the kinds of things that your husband has been accused of.
No, absolutely not.
All right, well, Shelley Sterling continued.
Well, to me, both like I just played it once. I'm gonna hear it one more time. Hear the clip of Shirley Sterling. Now, if any NBA player, let's say a college basketball player, out there from Duke, UConn, Kentucky, Kansas, anywhere around that globe. Do any of you college basketball players want to go play for somebody who have the last name named Stern? I won't. I wouldn't want to go play for him either because obviously now, to me, it's been, let's just say, nobody wants to play for this man. So what do we got to say for ourselves here today? It's not going to be that easy. I'll tell you that right now, because to me it looks like if any college basketball player from Texas Tech, SMU, or Duke, Kentucky, Clemson, Charlotte, North Carolina Tar Heels, Georgia State, Louisville, LSU, Alabama, Florida, Florida State, you name it. Do you think these college basketball players want to go play for somebody having the last name named Stern? No, they don't. And on top of that, also, I don't think any high school basketball players from the Dallas-Fort area will they want to go play for the Sterlings? No, they will not. And they wouldn't want to go play for anyone who's racist, especially with the last name Stern. I would. I'll say that right now. I would. So we got a new one here today, folks. It looks like here we go. And this is a different one now here. This was also published today here. This was actually yesterday, actually. Well, actually, no, let's go back here and not even go there. Okay, we'll go back over here. Actually, excuse me. To sum up my points here, let me tell you something, folks. I don't think any high school basketball players here from Dallas-Fort area will they want to go play for someone who has the last name Stern? No, I really don't think. I just think that these people, obviously, their mind right now, it's not focusing right now at the moment. So I'm kind of wondering, what are you going to do now that you don't even have someone here to speculate what needs to be done? What really needs to be done with this man is they need to take him out of the franchise team, and he's got no choice but to sell it. So, let's see what Coach Doc Rivers has to say here. Let's go ahead and talk about that here today. Also here today. And this was also the day here. But to me, folks, this isn't too much of an apology. Let's just say that here right now. Here we go. Well, actually, so this is today, Oklahoma City. Los Angeles Clippers coach Doug Rivers doesn't think the apology made by band team owner Donald Sterling on CNN was much of an apology at all. Rivers said Monday he was surprised to hear that Sterling said Magic Johnson hasn't done enough for memories and isn't a good role model for the children in Los Angeles, California. I obviously know who Magic is, Rivers said, and I'll stand by Magic every day of the year because I've known him for a long time. Having said that, I don't know what's going on out there. I try not to get involved in that part of it right now. Whatever it is, that's not sounding like much of an apology to me. Rivers followed up with his thoughts on an interview at the Clippers shoot around Tuesday. And I quote, I wasn't looking for him to say anything, and he didn't say nothing. He only saw pieces of the interview. I've been asked 100 times, do you accept the apology? I wasn't looking for him to say anything, and I'm not looking for an apology or anything right now. I am focused on our guys, and being above all that, that's fine. He's going to keep doing what he does. We have to keep doing our jobs, though. Asked if he was surprised by Sterling's continued attacks on the former Lakers great, Rivers added, I don't know, and if I'm or not, to be honest. Clippers star Chris Paul and Blake Griffin also were asked about Sterling saying all his players loved him. I don't know all about that, Paul said. I love my wife, my kids, my family, and my teammates. Added Griffin, throughout the past 2 weeks, we try to make it as much not about that and not about what's going on with him. If you ask every single guy on this team, they'll say they love their family, they'll love their teammates, and that's who we're playing for. And that's really the bottom line. Commissioner Adam Silver released a statement Monday night at the end of Game 4 between the Miami Heat and Brooklyn Nets, again apologizing to Johnson on behalf of the league. And I quote, I just read a transcript of Donald Sterling's interview with Anderson Cooper. While Magic Johnson doesn't need me to, I feel compelled on behalf of the NBA family to apologize to him and that he continues to be dragged into this situation and degraded by such nucleus and personal attack. The statement reads, the NBA Board of Governors is continuing with this process to remove Mr. Sterling as expediently as possible. Sterling's girlfriend Bea Stovano has posted a photo of her and Johnson on her Instagram account, and as Sterling told her to remove, he also told her not to bring Johnson or other mentorees to the Clippers games during a racist rant that prompted outrage throughout the NBA and the nation, and when it was released on TMZ.com, leading to his lifetime ban from the league just days later. During Sterling's interview with CNN, he said that he has spoken to Johnson twice since all the recordings were linked. If I say anything wrong, I'm sorry, Sterling said. He's a good person. I mean, what am I going to say? He has done everything he can do to help mentorees? I don't think so. But I'll say he's but I don't think he's a good example for the children of Los Angeles, California. You know, to me, this is not a great thing for now at the moment. And clearly, right now, like I said, Magic Johnson, my friends, is one person who, like I said, he works for ABC as an NBA analyst, for ABC Network as an NBA analyst. And we watch him all the time on ABC. I watch him all the time also. But I just truly think right now that he needs to stop making these comments about the Hall of Famer. The Hall of Famer has nothing to do with what happened here today. He has nothing to do with it. If I was him, I leave the Hall of Famer out of it. Because if I keep mentioning a legend's name, I'm really going to get him, as we say, ticked off. And I don't think I want to go around that world right now. I don't think it's the right time or place to say I'm going to rat him out. I'm going to blast him out and say, oh, this and that, yada, yada. No. I just don't think that's the right moment or the right time or the right place or time for me to discuss about somebody who obviously does not stand on any of these situations. Because like I said, if anything sounds to me like these problems, then I really don't know. But now we got some more. Let's go to the next top story, shall we? Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and talk about this here. And this is regulation policies was posted today, also today, earlier today at 2:58 Central Time, which means 3:58 Eastern Time. And here we go. It would be too late to help Josh Gordon, Will Hill, or anyone else in danger of likely suspensions for violations of current rules, and when and if the NFL's new drug policy is financed and announced, it would include charges specific to marijuana and other drugs of abuse. A source told ESPN.com on Tuesday that renegotiation of the drug policy, which has been going since 2011, includes testing for HGH, also significantly increased for those who hold for a positive marijuana test, and reduce the punishments for violations involving that drug. The source said the NFL's policy on marijuana is outdated, pointing out that the WADA has a higher those hold for a positive test than the NFL currently does and in need updating. The NFLPA has expressed to the league an interest in studying the medical research that has led to legalization of marijuana in many states for medical use, but it believes changes were needed in the meantime regardless. We're holding up an importation announcement of the changes of the league's drug policy and its continued stand-up and orientation of discipline. In the cases for unknown ethical positives, like Alex Rodriguez type of case, in which a player is found in violation of the drug policy by some method other than a failed test, or in cases of violations of law. Hypothetically, a player got caught trying to smuggle a prescription drugs across the Canadian border. The NFLPA has asked that discipline appeals to be heard by independent arbitrator. The NFL has continued to insist that the commissioner had final say over discipline matters. It's the same hang-up that was addressed last week by the union president Eric Winston, who said of the commissioner Roger Goodell on the issue HGH high testing, he wants to hold all the cards and he wants to be the judge, jury, and executor. And we're not going to go for an un-American system like that. In response to the union claims, an NFL spokesman Greg Analio an email the following last week to ESPN. It's kind of funny because since 2011, the union has come up with one excuse after another to avoid implementing an agreement to test HGH first. It was the testing method, then it was the population study, now it's commissioner authority. Our commitment to testing is clear. The same cannot be said of the union. The dispute over the arbitration turns out it's holding up more than just HGH testing, and there are widespread changes to the NFL's drug policy, and that these two sides have negotiated and are waiting to implement once they reach an agreement on administration of discipline. To me at this point though, not so sure why is this, obviously allowing these players, and like I said a couple of years ago, these NFL players, they don't need that mess. That mess will kill them, and these kids look after them as if they were their Burmas. We got one more here. Time is 3:56 here as we begin here for top of the 4 o'clock hour here, and we'll take our break here in just a moment. But to me, we got one person who obviously does not want to play, has no interest in Cleveland. We'll tell you who he is when we come back after this word from Dick's Sporting Goods. Sports Matter, donating funds to St. Teams. More, go to dicksportinggoods.com. And we'll be back next.
My name is Paige Vicky, and I am an elementary school principal at Rincon Elementary in Georgia. My husband's name is Travis. We have two boys. Walker is 10 and Connor is 8.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, not me.
No, we're having dinner soon.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, not me.
No, we're having dinner soon.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Balance la cadence, ondule bien tes hanches, au bal du dimanche. Danse, que la fête commence, dans ma belle robe blanche, je suis You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org. Danse, balance la cadence, ondule bien tes hanches, au bal du dimanche. Danse, que la fête commence, dans ma belle robe blanche, je suis You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
Alright, I'm going to go back here live on YouTube.com. Time out is 4:01. Let's go to this top story here from quarterback Teddy Bridgewater said in an interview Tuesday on the Dan Patrick show that he wouldn't have wanted to play for the Cleveland Browns if he had been drafted by the team. Asked whether there was a possibility that he might have been picked by Cleveland, Bridgewater said there was a chance, but I actually told my agent that that's not the place where I wanted to be. Throughout the entire process, I felt comfortable with the Minnesota Vikings. Every visit that I had with the team, there was a family environment and the players, great guys, a great group of guys, so I felt comfortable wanting to play here. The former Louisville star was selected by the Minnesota as the final pick of the first round Thursday, 10 spots after the Browns took Johnny Manziel. Bridgewater also said during the interview with Patrick that he is motivated to make other teams pay for passing him in the draft. Oh yeah, it's somewhat accurate, Bridgewater said. Coach Mike Zimmer loves guys who play with a chip on their shoulder. I just continue to stay within my character, but at the same time, I know my mindset. On Monday, Browns coach Mike Pinetti shot down a report that the team originally had Bridgewater's name on its draft card and switched it to Manziel's in the seconds before the pick was due. I heard that story too, but it's beyond laughable. Pinetti said of an ESPN Cleveland report while at the Browns Foundation golf outing in Aurora, Ohio. Panetti also said Menzel was in the conversation at number 4, the only quarterback the Browns considered with their top pick. ESPN's affiliate in Cleveland reported Monday that they're trading up to number 22 pick. Browns general manager Ray Farmer has selected Bridgewater in that spot. A source told ESPN Cleveland that that card prepared to be given the NFL commissioner Roger Goodell for the official announcement originally had Bridgewater's name on it. Then within 10 seconds left in the team's turn, the card was replaced with one bearing Menzel's name. So Sports Nation asked, do you have a problem with Teddy Bridgewater saying he wouldn't have wanted to play for the Browns had he been drafted by a team? I will say yes. I mean, clearly to me, as it may seem, folks, if the Dallas Cowboys wouldn't have picked this young man up, also, Bridgewater's a great quarterback. But they did not get him. So now he's got no interest in playing with who? The Cleveland Browns. And that's really a hard time to believe at all, period. So, really, what are we going to do about it, though, really? I mean, I hate to say this in my mind, but now we got to understand here what needs to be done for every single person out here who, as I said, now we have no reason to why. So, this is something that people may sound reasonable, I'm guessing, but really this isn't too much to talk about now. So I'm kind of wondering, what are we going to do here now? How are we going to solve this issue? I'm not sure. So now we got another one here, and this is a different one now. And this is also posted today also. So here we go here in just a moment. We'll say that story here in just a moment. So here we go. Houston, Texas. Andre Johnson, who holds voluntary area receiving record for the Houston Texans, isn't sure he wants to remain with the organization. When you've been somewhere for a long time, nobody's been here as long as I have, Johnson said after presenting a check to the Houston Arena Women's Center on Tuesday. I have been thinking about things this offseason and kind of wonder if this is still the place for me. Johnson said he has no plans right now to participate in organization team activities or the Texans mandatory mini camp in June. He added that he has not asked for a trade. Johnson was selected by the Texans in the first round of 2003 draft in its franchise all-time receiver, with 902 point receptions, 12.661 yards, and 61 touchdowns in 11 seasons. Despite catching 109 passes and 1.407 yards and 5 TDs last season, Johnson is still endured to share of the frustration in the Texans' SML 214 campaign against the Oakland Raiders on November 17. Johnson reached out at boiling point, walking off the field in the fourth quarter after an on-field spat with the former Texas quarterback Matt Schaub. Johnson, 32 years old, will have a new coach this season after the Texans fired Gary Kubiak in December and hired Bill O'Brien in January. Now, I'm on my third head coach. There's something I thought I give thought to, Johnson said, and I just looked over my career and it's a place. I've been to the playoffs twice. I think we only had 3 winning seasons, 2 and 8 seasons. I don't think any player wants to experience that. You go through a rebuilding process. Some people say it's not a rebuilding. Some people say it's a quick fix. Everybody has their own opinion. But I've been through this more than once, and when I make my decision, I'll make my decision. So I'm kind of wondering where do we want to put this young man here at all period. Well, if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, why not go after him? He's a good wide receiver to me. I mean, where else are you going to send this kid? There's nowhere else that he's going to want to play at all, folks, because really there isn't too many rooms for the other teams. All the rest of the other teams now, they got, as we say, what? They got what? Receivers? Yeah, they got receivers, so no. There's nowhere else where you want to go to play except for Dallas Cowboys. I mean, you know what I mean? But now we're learning more information here. The Cowboys now released 6 players. So, like I said a couple weeks ago, what was the point of having the NFL draft? We're going to continue releasing 6 players. Let's go ahead and talk about this one here. Time is 4:09 here, and looks like the Cowboys released 6 players on Monday. Chris Stemmiger, guard, Wake Forest, and defensive tackle Frank Kersine, Alabama A&M, Lance Lewis, wide receiver, East Carolina, Tristan Acapulco, defensive end, Fresno State, and Quentin Spears, linebacker, Perry A&M State, and Jamara, linebacker, Stephen F. Austin. So now, this, I really don't know what happened here. You released 6 players that you drafted during this offseason NFL draft. Now, I'm not so sure what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys now, really. This is something that doesn't set me to mind. Why would that have happened in the first place? I'm not so sure why he did that, but was there a point to this at all? At any reason? I'm not sure. I'm not sure right now at the moment. I mean, there isn't too much to talk about here, really, folks, because, like I said, this is something that stands on me and stands on everyone else. And I really don't know how you're going to continue disrespecting. So which 7th round pick has the best chance to make an impact for the Cowboys this season? Well, right now, I really don't know. I couldn't say that right now because this is something to the point to where I'm figuring out what really needs to happen there now. So this is a different one now here, and this is getting more bigger and bigger. So really, this is something that's very serious here, folks. We don't know what's up with the Cowboys now. The Cowboys now, they released 6 players. So let me count the players they released here. They released 6 players actually from different colleges that they had talked about drafting. All of a sudden, just boom, you cut them away. So what's going to happen? The camp hasn't even started yet, and now you're what you say you're trading them. So the Cowboys, I 2 spots for Crawford. I'm not for sure who is Crawford. Tyrone Crawford, okay. Defensive line, okay. Crawford, who had an Achilles last season, he played with the young man here, unfortunately. And I don't know if Crawford want to come back and play here because Crawford, I mean, he's got an Achilles, and I'm not for sure if that will be the first team to come here for Crawford. Crawford's a great guy. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't think that you want to go ahead and bring back a person here now and just say figure out what I really, need to do among the things. I just don't think that's going to happen. But here we go. NBA playoffs continue on tonight, 6 o'clock tonight on TNT. Wizards taking on the Pacers, followed by 8:30. Clippers taking on Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. Series tied 2 at peace. Then tomorrow, 6 o'clock, Brooklyn at Miami, followed by 8:30. Portland Trail Blazers taking on none other than the San Antonio Spurs. Those are the games. Hockey continues on tonight. Rangers taking on the Penguins, followed by 8 o'clock. The Blackhawks taking on Minnesota Wild, followed by 6 o'clock. Montreal taking on Bruins, followed by 8:30. Anaheim Ducks taking on the LA Kings tomorrow night on NBCSN Sports Network. And then baseball, of course, tonight. Rangers in baseball. Rangers take on the Astronauts 7:10. 6:05. Tigers taking on the Orioles. 6:05 in the link. Mets taking on the Yankees. 6:05. Halos taking on the Phillies. And then Indians taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. 6:07. 6:10. Padres take on the Reds. 7:10. Rockies take on the Royals. 7:10 Pirates take on the Brewers. 7:10 Red Sox and Twins. 7:15 Cubs taking on the Cardinals. And 8:40 Nationals taking on the Diamondbacks. And then followed by at 9:05 Athletics taking on the White Sox. Tampa taking on the Mariners. 9:10 Dodgers taking on the Marlins. And then 9:15 San Francisco Giants taking on the Atlanta Braves. Those are so far your games here for today. So I'm pretty much kind of wondering now, where does Bridgewater want to go? That's my point. Not so sure. I'm not so sure what's the intent for this to happen. I'm not sure. I just don't think that it was fair for this to happen, but really, there isn't too much what I can do about it here today, folks. There really isn't. As clearly as I got to say, this is not going to be the type of issue you want to be dealing with back on so forth on. Really, you really don't. So we got games going on today, TNT, then tomorrow again, TNT, then Thursday. We wrap it up back on ESPN. Friday, we also wrap it up on ESPN. On Sunday, probably being back on either ABC and then one on TNT. Then Monday, if necessarily, back on TNT, which is next Monday. Then we get to see the movie Godzilla in theaters this Friday. For more, go to Godzilla.com and theaters space 16. Available in 2D and 3D. For more, go to Godzilla.com. So let's go ahead here and go to our local news page here, shall we? So we're going to go right now here today, Tuesday, May 13th, year 2014. And I guess we'll start with the crime news and so forth on, really. And now to that point, really going to go ahead and do that right now, I guess, while we get at it, fortunately. So let's go ahead and, as we say, so this is the one we're going to talk about here, and then we'll talk about, let's see here. I want to talk about this one. This one's kind of weird to me here. But first of all, let's go ahead and talk about this one first. Then about this one first here. And now I'm talking about the next one in just a moment, shall we? We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.